First bee swarm of the year, which is positive because it means that there are at least some bees left. I've called out a beekeeper. They'll have a nice new home soon. So a happy ending. Hey Harris, you like the sun? You coming for a walk? It's lovely, it's warm, it's sunny. Everywhere I look there's buttercups and foxgloves, and yeah, it's just absolutely beautiful out here at the moment. I'm just giving you the full 360. It doesn't seem 5 minutes ago that I was pointing out the first oak leaves starting to emerge. I mean, literally just a couple of weeks ago, and now every tree is absolutely covered in foliage. Look at it. Amazing. I'm so pleased that this little grove of ash trees we have here, they're all looking really healthy. I mean, the trust that maintains the fields took down a couple that had ash dieback that were showing signs of disease a little while ago, and it seems to have worked, because these are all looking very, very healthy indeed. And that pleases me immensely, because we could be losing all our ash trees otherwise, and they're a lovely tree. One of the saddest casualties of ash dieback is sculptor David Nash's ash dome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's where he planted a circle of ash trees, and then over the course of 3 decades has been training them to lean in towards each other. In fact, I think it's nearly more 4 decades now. And unfortunately, the disease is in the trees now, and they're all dying. If you don't know the piece, this is what it looks like. And in fact, it's probably reasonably familiar to you if you watch BBC4, because it was used as one of its idents for some time. Yeah, very sad loss, because not only a thing of beauty, but something, you know, someone's put 4 decades of their life into. I mean, he's quite sanguine about it. I've seen him interviewed, and he said, well, you know, everything dies. He said, I'm going to die, and this is dying. He said, I just hoped it would outlive me. Bit sad, isn't it? You enjoying yourself? I know it's not smelly, is it? You're just enjoying yourself. Come on then. There are some absolutely huge dock leaves around this year. Really big. I mean, I know they get quite big anyway, but these are massive. Really, really big. Remember, kids, they don't do anything for bee stings. Despite what you may have been told as a kid, they do not work. If you get a bee sting, or if you get a nettle sting, look for some plantain. And plantain usually grows near dock. Loads of it here, look. That's plantain. It's got those ribs on it. That's all plantain. And that has got natural antihistamines in it. If you rub that on your skin, you'll alleviate the sting. Dock leaves, just a placebo. Well, the dogwood is in flower now as well. They're quite pretty little flowers. They start off like that, and then they go like that. They're rather nice, aren't they? And then we'll have some red berries on there, and sometimes blackish berries later on in the year. But yes, that's dogwood. There are some lovely wildflowers around at the moment. This is Nigella, also known as Love in a Mist or Devil in the Bush. Great names. And here on the edge of this road we've got some lovely cornflowers. They're very pretty, aren't they? Do you know what? The English language gives us some lovely descriptions. That is a buff-tailed bumblebee on some purple toadflax. Isn't that whole sentence lovely? Oh, there's an unexpected little treat. Ox-eye daisies. Now, why are they growing in the middle of this field? There's another tiny little group just over there. But there's no others anywhere on these entire meadows. I suspect it might be something to do with a wildflower seed initiative from a couple of years ago. I know they planted a lot of wild seeds over here, and I didn't see any of them come up. But how lovely to see them. Lovely dog roses all in bloom now. Always found them a very pretty flower, and look, the bees really love them. Bees and flies, always all over the dog roses. Gorgeous, aren't they? Here's a nice little pub quiz question. What's the difference between a thorn and a prickle? Well, let me show you. Thorns are an outgrowth from a stem. They're actually part of the stem. So if you like, they're a modified twig or branch, and you find thorns on things like blackthorn, hawthorn and brambles. Now these are prickles on a rose, because a prickle is a modified skin cell. It's almost like a kind of pointy scab that grows off the outside of the stem. It's not part of the stem like a twig is, or an off branch. So these are prickles, which means that roses have prickles and not thorns. Of course, what this actually means in real terms is that Axl Rose should have been singing "Every rose has its prickle," which doesn't quite work, does it? What rhymes with prickle? Tickle? Tickle isn't really a word you associate with Guns N' Roses, is it? Or indeed rock generally. How many rock songs have the word tickle in them? Of course, that does raise the subject of what you call these things on the edges of the leaves. I mean, I would have thought of those as a prickle, but they're actually part of the leaf in the same way that a thorn is a part of a stem. I'm going to have to look this up now, aren't I? Okay, so I looked it up. Spines or spikes grow on leaves. Thorns grow from stems and are modified twigs. And prickles grow on the surface of twigs. They're sort of modified structures that sit on the surface. They're modified skin cells. So there you go. So the ones you see on holly leaves are actually spines. Ah, trickle, pickle. They both rhyme with tickle and prickle. Crikey. A little bit of warm weather and lots of rain, and the bracken and the cow parsley have completely taken over this pathway now. And I'll show you in a second how that bracken forest has grown up. Do you remember a couple of videos ago I showed you how it was starting to come up? Well, look at it now. Look at it now. It has turned into an absolute forest of bracken, and that is literally in 2 weeks. Oh, and fickle. Toodle-pip. If you've enjoyed this video, then please consider subscribing. Or click on some of these links to look at some of the other videos on the channel. Or press the like button. Or leave a comment. It would be lovely to hear from you. Any combination of those 4 things would be wonderful. Thank you very much.